everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of September 1st through the 7th. Today is Saturday, September 7th. So this week I have been reading my selections for the Orilium Magical Readathon. That is a readathon that's hosted by G over at Book Roast. I've been participating in this readathon for, I think this is the third year, I think I'm also in my third year of Master of Elements, which is the kind of degree that I'm working towards. So, yeah, like I said last week, chose all of my prompts and have filled them with mostly manga. So I worked on those manga selections this week. So I've got some manga to talk to you about. I finished a light novel. I am in the middle of one manhwa and an audiobook or a novel, so I'll talk to you about that. I did barely any knitting this week, and I'll tell you why when we get to the Yarnie update section, but I do have some Yarnie stuff to talk to you about. I did receive my spooky summer collection purchase from Big Little Yarn Company, which is Mel's company, and it got shipped from Japan, and so I'll share those with you, and then we'll do a little bit of what I've been reading and playing chat at the end. So let's get into it. So we'll start off with the light novel. I finished My Happy Marriage Volume 6 in the light novel by Akumi Agitogi. This one is published by Yana, rated ages 13 and up, so that's teen. So like I've said before, this story starts off as a Cinderella retelling. In this world, there is like a supernatural element to it as well. Our male character here, Kyoka, is part of a military unit that deals with supernatural issues. And it's just a really, really interesting, slow burn romance story. And it's very, very cute. I really, really enjoyed it. We finished up an arc in this volume, and while I enjoyed our journey to get to the climax of this arc, I thought that the arc ended too abruptly, like too quickly. Like, I feel like there should have been more meat to it. And I would have preferred that there be more to concluding this kind of journey we've been on for 3 or 4 installments. And so, yeah, while I enjoyed the journey getting there and seeing the climax of this story and then have it conclude, which leads us to the next kind of phase of our two characters' relationship, I thought I would have liked to see more to the ending of that, or how we closed that arc. So I still gave this one 4 stars. I absolutely adore this story. These two are just the sweetest, and I'm looking forward to seeing them start the next phase of their lives together in the next one. Or at least I think that's where we're going to go. And so, yes, highly recommend. Really, really enjoyable. Like I said, the first volume is very, very much a Cinderella retelling. Once you get past that part, though, the second, it's completely different. So, really, really enjoyable story, 4 stars. And then the rest of what I have to talk to you is manga. So, we have Twisted Wonderland, Volume 2, Book of Heart's Labial. This one has original concept by Yana Toboso, storyboards by Wakana Hazuki, and art by Sumire Kowono. This one's published by Viz, rated teen. So this one follows a guy who is on his way home after his last kendo practice. They have a big tournament coming up, and he gets picked up by this carriage and transported to this academy where it's full of magic users, and he doesn't understand why he's there. They don't understand why he's there because he's got no magic. And nobody knows how to get him back to where he is from. And so he is trying to kind of figure out his life, what he's going to do. And this particular academy has 7 houses, and they are all inspired by Disney villains. So we read the first volume for the Monochrome Manga Club. Really enjoyed it. Like I said before, a couple of our members have played the mobile game. I still have not bit the bullet and played the mobile game myself, but it looks really fun. And so I really wanted to read more of this, and so I decided to go ahead and pick this one up because one of the prompts for my Orilium Magical Readathon classes is to read something with one of your favorite smells on the cover. And because we're dealing with the Hearthlobule house in this one, which is basically the Queen of Hearts inspired house, there are roses. So let me see if I can find one. Right here at the top of this, there is a white rose. You know, the whole thing about the Queen of Hearts is, you know, painting the roses red, right? And they actually do some of that in this volume, and there are actual pictures from Alice in Wonderland in this, where it's those sections where you've got the cards and they're in the garden and they're painting the roses red. That shouldn't be a spoiler. I'm sure most of you have seen Alice in Wonderland, but like this panel right here, very much from the classic anime cartoon. But yes, they're painting the roses red here. And so because this one had roses on the front, I'm using that for that class. I really enjoyed this volume. We definitely met a lot more characters in this one, characters from other houses. So we're learning more about the traits of the people in those houses, and also like why the head of the Hearthlobule house is as like strict as he is. And so yeah, we're starting to learn about some of the magic abilities that they have and things like that. I quite enjoyed this one, gave this one 4 stars. So then I picked up The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl Volume 2. This one is by Miyuki Tonogaya, published by Square Enix Manga, rated teen. So this one follows our 2 characters here on the cover. They're both starting at a new company. Our guy here is the descendant of a snow spirit. I always get that wrong. I always want to say a snow god. It's a snow spirit. And so when he gets like really happy, or he's got like really strong emotions, anxiety or fear or happiness or whatever, he can cause weather things to happen. So like he can like freeze over, turn completely into a block of ice. He can make a blizzard happen in the office. There can be snow flurries. When he gets really happy, he kind of manifests these cute little miniature snowmen. It's super cute. But anyway, these 2 kind of meet on their first day, and they end up being cubicle neighbors, and they start to get to know each other, and they both kind of have feelings for each other. It's kind of a slow burn. This story kind of takes place in very short chapters, so they're just little snippets into something that happens on any particular day, like little vignettes into their life. It's really cute. There is an anime. I watched a couple episodes, but I stopped because I didn't want to spoil myself on what I hadn't read in the manga yet, and I just really enjoy the story. Super cute. You can definitely like feel the like feelings, especially from his side, because we see a lot of his like inner like monologue where he like gushes over her, and then you can kind of see how she reacts to things and how she kind of, you know, just has conversations with them, and they end up going together someplace in this volume, and it was really cute. I read this one for my Orilium class prompt, which was to read something with jewelry on the cover, and so you can see that she's wearing earrings right there. And so yes, really enjoyable, super cute. I kind of wish that the chapters were a little bit longer, because I feel like the snippets are just too like short sometimes, and that you don't like really get to like immerse yourself into the period of time that you're with in that moment with those characters before you're transported into another moment in their lives. But it is super cute, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And so I also gave this one 4 stars. Then I read Dark Gathering Volume 2. Look at me go, continuing series. This one is by Kenichi Kondo, published by Viz, rated older teen. So in the first volume, which we read for the Monochrome Manga Club, we meet a guy who had been cursed in a dangerous encounter with a malevolent spirit in his like youth, and his best friend was also cursed with the same inflictions, and so he kind of became a shut-in because he feels like he's responsible for hurting his friend, and his friend kind of never left his side and has always been there telling him, you know, you need to like not think about it that way, I'm fine, you know, trying to get him to reintegrate into society. So he finally decides to do so. They're entering university, and he decides, okay, I'm just going to like try to move on from this. So he decides he's not only going to reintegrate and start going back to school, but he is going to start offering tutoring services, and he ends up getting a client, and the client ends up being his best friend's kid cousin. And that kid cousin has an interest in the occult and the supernatural, and everything that he's been trying to avoid, she wants him to help her like track down those things. It's been really interesting. They definitely deal with a lot of like urban legend type stuff. I wouldn't say the first volume was super creepy, but it definitely was, you know, darker. This volume, though, deals with some pretty serious stuff. A majority of the things that they encounter in this volume have to do with suicide, and I think there are 3 different depictions of suicide in this volume, and so you should know that going in. There was a little bit of a twist in something that happens, and I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, so it kind of confused me, but I'm really interested to continue reading this one, because like I said, that situation that confused me, I want answers to. Plus the spirits that they're dealing with are very interesting, and you know, trying to understand how to maybe get themselves uncursed is a journey as well. And so really, really enjoying this one. I read this one for the prompt of read something with a poisonous plant on the cover, I believe is the prompt. And so she's holding a spider lily, and those are poisonous. And so I decided to read that one for this. I gave this one 4 stars. Really interested in continuing. I'm looking forward to reading more of that. I think this is a good time to be reading this one too, because with all of the urban legends and stuff, it kind of goes hand in hand with the upcoming season of October, right? And so I think I'm going to probably read through the rest of what I have and pick up whatever else I don't. But really, really enjoying this one as well. Definitely gives the vibes that I'm looking for that type of series. And then the last volume I read, I just finished this last night. This is volume 3 of Dinosaur Sanctuary by Itaru Kinoshita, and has research consultant Shin-ichi Fujiwara. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So this one follows a girl who gets a job at a dino zoo. Think Jurassic Park, but not as horrifying. So it literally is like a zoo. And people come and view the dinosaurs just like they would at a zoo. And our main character is one of the dino keepers, and she's learning about the different dinosaurs and how to like help them when they're like feeling sick, or trying to work through the zoo's like financial issues. They're trying to figure out ways to get people to like come and see the dinos and things like that. So it's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff on like zoo tasks and things. So like cleaning out the dino pens and feeding them and what to do when they're not feeling well, and moving certain dinos to other areas and things like that. And it's really, really interesting. There are a lot of teaching opportunities, I guess you'd say. Like they're called like Dr. Dino's lab log. And so you get these paragraphs by Shinichi Fujiwara, and it talks to you about the type of dinosaur that you experienced in the previous chapter, why they were drawn that way. It gives you a little bit of learning opportunities about when that dinosaur was around, what causes them to be certain ways, and like other scientific things. Like in this particular one, there's a question about how do we go about figuring out whether a particular extinct animal formed herds, and so how like researchers figure that out when looking at the fossils and things like that. Lots of interesting information in regards to dinosaurs in this. So it not only gives you a fictionalized story, but it also provides you with a learning opportunity, which I really enjoy. But because you also have all of those paragraphs, it does take a bit longer to read this type of volume. I really, really enjoy it, and I enjoy seeing like what they're up to, what kinds of dinosaurs they're featuring in each volume. It's a really, really interesting series, and I quite enjoyed this one. So I gave this one 4 stars as well. I read this one for the prompt to read something that was published the month of your birth. So not necessarily your birth date, but the month of your birth. And since the month of my birth is September, this was published in September 2023. Yes, I am behind on this. I really enjoy this one. And so that takes care of that class as well. I gave this one 4 stars as well. This one took me a good 3 nights to read though, just because of everything that I had going on this week, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. But yes, really enjoyed that. Definitely need to continue with that one. So I got 4 out of my 7 classes done, which is great. The 5th class is also going to be a manga, but I can't read that yet because it's going to be the selection for the Monochrome Manga Club this month. And so I'll need to read that closer to the end of the month, since we have pushed back our meeting for this month because I am traveling. So that's something that I am looking forward to, traveling, kind of. But again, we'll talk more about that in a bit. I am in the middle of 2 things right now. So I did go ahead and start the 4th book in the Star-Crossed series this week, which is Endless Magic, 4th book in the Star-Crossed series by Rachel Higginson. This follows, like I said, a girl who kind of destroys all of the schools that she's been to until she's moved to her last chance school and discovers that she's had magic and is learning how to hone that magic, what her magic can do, and kind of deal with a situation that's going on politically with the royal family of the magical society and things like that. This book is a lot longer than the other 3 books in this series. I was very shocked to see how long the audiobook was. And so I think the audiobook's like 15 hours or something like that. And so, yeah, I'm about halfway through at the moment. It's okay. She's still like getting on my nerves. Like I said last week, I do think that she is going to end up with the first person that she fell for in the series, because the series name kind of gives it away. But there are times where I'm just like, dude, you're like trying to talk yourself into this and you're not doing a good job. for me, it's like so obvious that she doesn't actually have feelings for this other guy, but she's trying to say that she does by talking herself into it. That's not you having feelings for some other dude, right? And it's just like, it's that kind of thing where it's like so obvious, yet she's like trying to be pig-headed about it and say that she doesn't have feelings for her original guy, but yet everything that she does and the feelings that she has when he does certain things are telltale signs that she still has feelings for this guy. And so I'm just like, it's irritating, but at the same time, I've got to remember that she's a teenager, and, you know, teens sometimes do that kind of stuff. But it's, yeah. In any case, there are things happening that are kind of ramping up with the royal family in this series, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how all of that is going to play out. Like, the Resistance is working on something. I want to know what they're working on. And I kind of am ready for the end game, but it's just like, how much longer am I going to have to deal with you trying to tell yourself that you don't love this guy anymore? Because you do. But anyway, it's all right. I'm looking forward to seeing how this series ends. And at least I'll be able to say that I finished the series, right? So, yes. In the middle of that, I'm hoping to finish that one this week. Completely on audiobook, because again, I don't have an ebook copy of this particular one. And then last night, I picked up Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 4 by Sewell. This one has original story by Gwang Gyo-ul, published by Issei Press, rated teen. So this one follows a girl who ends up getting transported into an otome game that she has been playing. And she ends up being transported in as the villain of the story. So with her knowledge of the game, she's trying to figure out how to get back to her real life. So the whole reason that I decided to go ahead and pick this one up was because I saw a spoiler for the series when I was on social media last night, and it really ticked me off. I tend not to see spoilers about series that I'm reading, just because I tend not to read the real popular stuff when it's really popular. So I don't usually have an issue with seeing spoilers. But for whatever reason, the algorithm said, hey, show this spoiler to her, and I got ticked off. So I'm like, well, I guess I better read that series. I don't think I'm anywhere near where the spoiler I saw was, and I only looked at it for a few seconds, and still, I already know what had happened in that panel, and that's all it took. So I'm back to this series. It is a series that I do enjoy. It definitely has the otome game mechanics where she's building like affection. I think it's building affection is the term with the characters to try to get them to help her out in sticky situations and things. And this is very much a reverse harem type, because she's like the only main female character, and then a lot of the other characters that she's trying to build affection with are men. Not all of the men, though, that she interacts with are like romantic interests, but there are several that can be. And then she's got a couple of like familial members that their family life in the game is not real great, so she needs to like work on building their affection for her as well. There's some things with her family background that's an issue also, and it's just a really interesting story. I didn't read very much last night. This is a full color manhwa, so it definitely is very interesting to read, very colorful. I do enjoy the story a lot, and seeing what kinds of decisions our character makes, knowing what options are available to her beforehand, and things like that. Also, the fact that even though she knows how things could play out, there's always the possibility for her to be surprised by the outcome of the decisions that she makes, which is really nice, because I think if it had always gone the way that she thought it was going to, I think it might be a little bit boring, right? Especially for her as the player. And so I'm really enjoying it. Plus the art on this is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And so, yes, I'm looking forward to continuing with this one. But as of right now, there's something going on. She just finished kind of a battle. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with this one. So, looking forward to this. Like I said, I don't know how far away that spoiler I saw was, but it seems like it's pretty far. I don't think I'm anywhere close. And I also don't think I have as many volumes as are out right now on this. So we'll see where I go with this. But I foresee reading quite a bit more of this series in the next few weeks. But yes, enjoyable. And so that's everything that I've been reading, everything that I'm currently reading. So let's get into the Yarnie update section. So, Yarnie update section. I told you I was going to have a finished stock for you this week, and that is not the case. So, it has been very hot here. We are experiencing a heat wave. It's in the hundreds, and I am not happy. So, on Thursday, it was our first kind of day that was over 100, like almost 110. And I was just not feeling very good, and it sparked a migraine. So I had a migraine day on Thursday. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to work on it on Friday. It's been very, very uncomfortable here. Like, even at night when it's cooler, there's no breeze. So nothing in the house is cooling down. And it's very difficult. You know that I'm not a summer person, right? And so yesterday when I was trying to work on the sock, our air conditioner, or I should say our air cooler, because we don't have central air, our air cooler, our portable air conditioning unit, died this week. So that also didn't help things, right? So we ended up pulling out our old one, which thankfully still works. However, because it was like 109 yesterday, our house got down to a balmy 91 degrees. That's as cold as the portable air cooler could make our house. So I could not work on my knitting. I was getting very nauseous. I don't do well in the heat. It makes me nauseous. And so, yeah. It also made me very lethargic and very sleepy, and I just couldn't like deal with the heat. So I did get a little bit of knitting done, but I didn't finish. I'm almost at the toe. I have like 1 or 2 rows to the toe, and then the toe, and then I'll be done with that one sock. I do need to get moving on that, but we'll see how this next week goes. In any case, barely to no knitting this week. But I did get in my shipment of Spooky Summer Collection yarn from Mel over at the Big Little Yarn Company. She does a Spooky Summer Collection yearly. And this year there were some colorways that I thought would look really, really nice. I wasn't expecting these until the beginning of October, because I thought she had said that she was going to aim to ship them out at the end of September so that we'd have them to work with in October, but they came really early, which I'm really appreciative of. But these are just gorgeous, and so I thought I'd share those with you in lieu of any knitting this week. And so I got 3 skeins of her trusty sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino and 20% nylon 4-ply fingering weight, 437 yards, 400 meters. Like I said, this one is dyed in Japan. And so, yeah. So these are all like Halloween kind of inspired or spooky movie inspired colorways. I'm not quite sure what all of the relations are, but I do know one. And so the first color I got was Tsuki. This is just a really pale blue-gray. Really, really nice. So Tsuki in Japanese means moon. And so really, really pretty. And then I picked up Wendy, which has to be a character name from something. This is a tonal denim kind of blue. Very pretty again. And then the last skein I got is Train to Busan, which is a zombie Korean movie with Gong Yoo, which I haven't seen yet, but is definitely on my list of things to watch. So, Train to Busan. And this one has a lot of different like maroon and red colors for like the, I presume, bloody scenes, because zombies, right? And so, yes, and I thought these two colors with the Train to Busan would look really nice. And I think they go very well together. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these though, because for me and a garment, I would need at least 2 more skeins. So I thought maybe I could find something in my Kindred Spirits Yarn Club yarn subscription yarns to supplement into here, because I think I do have like a speckly light blue and like a darker speckled blue that I could fit in between Suki and Wendy, and then one between Wendy and Train to Busan, and that would make like a really nice project. If I was a shawl person, this would be perfect for like a larger shawl, I would think, but I am not a shawl person. Plus, here we don't really use those, I guess. I've never been one to like want to have something like around my neck, and so yeah, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with these, but I am absolutely in love with these skeins. I think they look really great together, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of project I'm going to use with them. So those are the 3 skeins I picked up from Mel over at Big Little Yarn Company. And then I guess that will bring us to what we've been watching and playing. And so we did more Animal Crossing gameplay this week. We had a villager decide that they wanted to move out. And so we did some villager hunting this week, which took a lot longer than we thought it was going to. We spent 130 Nook Mile tickets and found Astrid. And so Astrid has been one that I've wanted on one of our islands for a while. She actually showed up at our campsite 3 years ago when we were in Vegas. We were in Vegas, Las Vegas, for like a small like vacation. And after a long day of being out, walking around the strip and stuff, we got back to our hotel room. And we were just like, oh, let's check in on our villagers. And we were playing Animal Crossing, and then saw Astrid in the campsite. And we tried to get her to move onto the island, and she kept picking the wrong villager to move out. And so we weren't able to get her that way. But when she showed up on the villager hunt, we were like, okay, now's the chance. So we have Astrid on one of our islands, and then on the other island we had another campsite villager that we really wanted, and so we ended up letting one of our villagers go. And so the campsite villager that showed up on that island was Meringue, and so we moved Meringue in and Tia moved out. And so it's been fun. We've got some new villagers, and so always something that we like to do when we have new villagers is to keep them on the island until we get their picture. And so that's what we're going to be striving to do with our 3 new villagers now, because we moved in Marina a couple weeks ago. And so we have 2 new villagers on one island and 1 new villager on the other. It's been fun. I've been really, really enjoying being back on Animal Crossing. And you know, some nights I just check in for like 15 minutes. I go and I say hi to all of the villagers. I get my cup of coffee from Brewster, and then we log off. But it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. I've enjoyed it. We've still been watching Animal Crossing gameplays, or I've been watching Animal Crossing gameplays during work, and it's really helped my stress level, I think. And so yeah, lots of fun with the Animal Crossing. And then we are still watching the Olympics. We finished the judo, which was interesting, and then we started on the taekwondo, which I've never really known anything about taekwondo. And so this is kind of our learning opportunity again. I will say I think I enjoy watching judo more than the taekwondo. But we've only watched a couple of the rounds of taekwondo. And so I think, as with judo, I think as the weight classes get heavier, I think it's going to get more combative, I guess. Like, taekwondo is definitely a lot more combative because there's a lot of kicking, right? There's a lot of kicking. And it's really interesting to see, like, how they review things and all of the cameras that are set up for them to be able to go back and review to see where the kicks landed or if it even landed, and where they wear their sensors and things. And it's been interesting learning about the sport. And so we're going to continue watching that. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all we've been up to this week. I've been continuing to play Genshin with my normal, like, daily stuff, but nothing really of note to talk to you about with that. I'm just waiting for this heat to go away. It was 104 today, and it got down to a balmy 89 in the house, which is better than 91, but I just need the heat to go away. And of course, with the air conditioning dying, not many places have air conditionings for sale right now because lots of people are using it right now. So I just got to deal with it for another couple days, and then it's going to go down to the 80s, I think. So I'm just trying to hold out. And then we're traveling. So I've got a pretty busy week ahead of me. I'm not going to say where we're traveling to for safety reasons, but we're definitely traveling soon. And so the anxiety is kind of kicked in because I have travel anxiety. Or at least plane anxiety. We are flying to said location, and I always, like, a full month before I have to get on a plane, start having anxious thoughts and feelings, and so I'm kind of trying to deal with those at the moment right now. Luckily, my daughter is very much the opposite of me, and I'm very pessimistic. I'm a very pessimistic person, and she's much more a look on the bright side type of person, and she's there to reassure me, and she's always like, it's going to be okay, Mom, it's going to be okay. And I'm having a real difficult time with it this time around, and I don't know, it's just putting me on edge. Just every day that we get closer to the travel, I get more and more on edge, and then plus with, the heat and stuff, it's just not been a good time. And so I'm trying to keep my mind off it as much as possible, but obviously, when you're traveling somewhere, there's things you got to do, right? So just got to get through this week, and at least one thing should look up because the temperature should go down. So hopefully by the time I check in with you next, I'll be much happier and only have like one thing to deal with, which will be my travel anxiety. And so, yeah. Other than that, I'm doing good. I hope you are too. I'm enjoying my reads now. Started the month off with four 4-star reads, right? 5 4-star reads. So that's already better than last week with my 2 3-star reads, right? And so I'm feeling good about my reads right now. And we'll just see where it goes. So Let me know down in the comments below what you've been up to, what you've been reading, what you've been watching, what you've been working on. Are you a summer person? Are you sad that summer's coming to an end, or are you much more of the type of person I am, where you're like so looking forward to cooler temperatures? I've never ever been somebody who enjoys the heat or the sun. Even growing up in Hawaii, I'm just not that type of person. I'm much more of a dark, cool type of person. Really enjoy cool temperatures. Love the rain. Love when it's dark and overcast. That puts me in my happy place. And so with it being hot and sunny and bright all the time, I'm not a happy person. But let me know if you are a summer person, or if you're much more of a cooler temperature, wintry, or even spring type person. I would love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a Halloween type emoji, any type of emoji that's more Halloween-ish for my spooky summer collection yarn, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.